everybody, my name is Asia and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my January TBR. So I'm in a different location. I'm on my bed. I thought it would still be cute with like the leaves, and there's actually lights but you can't see them. And then my bed, and you know, I have two Peppas right here.
Don't play with me and my Peppas.
But I'm in such a reading mood. I'm hoping this carries over to January and that I do read a lot, but it is the beginning of my new semester and I know that I'm gonna have a lot of reading this semester because I'm just taking like a lot of psych classes which have a good chunk of reading. So hopefully I'll still have time to read. I'm really hoping because I'm in a reading mood. And I'm also going to be participating in winterween. Kinda. There's one book that I'm reading for winterween to fulfill prompts that's not like a spooky book. But, you know, we break the rules around here, okay? Okay.
Now I do what I want. Let's go. Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want.
So I'm just going to talk about first my book club books that I'm going to be reading this month because those are the books that like I'm obligated to read. The first one is A History of Wild Places by Shea, Ernshaw. I just know that this book is something to do with cults and it recently came out and Gabby from Gabby Reads loved this book. So I'm really hoping that I like it too because I'm really interested in cults and stuff like that. I'm actually taking a class this semester on religious cults and like extreme religions. So I'm really excited for that class, and this book will hopefully give me all the cult vibes that I'm looking for. I'm also kind of challenging myself to read one book of the month book off my shelves, or that I'm getting from book of the month every month, because some months, like especially in 2021, I did not get every single month, but I still was getting like 2-3 books every single time. So I'm just collecting a lot of them and I've read a good chunk of them, but I still want to make my way through that collection, so that is going to count for that. And this is for my Stacks of Strange book club where we read strange books. We actually just released our January, February, and March picks. So as I said, in January we're reading A History of Wild Places, which is on my TBR for this month. Next month we're going to be reading The Hollow Places, and then in March we're reading Extasia, I think is how you say it, by LeGrand. It's a new horror coming out, and I actually have an arc of this one, so I'll probably be reading that next month. The next book I've technically also gotten from book of the month, and that is The Love Hypothesis, which is the book club pick for my Swim Sisters book club. And I know that this is some sort of Star Wars retelling. I don't watch Star Wars, so I don't know, but Nicole's really excited about it. This takes place in grad school, and it's about like this girl who her best friend is interested in her ex-boyfriend, and she keeps telling them like, just go ahead, date him, like whatever. And her best friend doesn't believe that she's actually over him, but then she tells her best friend, she's like, oh, I'm actually dating this man, and she says that she's like gonna go on a date with him or whatever, but then she's like at like their school or something, their university, and she sees her, so she kisses the closest man near her, and that happens to be this professor who is apparently like really grumpy, and he's not very nice or anything like that, and he's like a really harsh grader, and then they kind of have to like fake date. He's a professor, and I think she's like a grad student or something, and it has to do with science. So I'm really excited for this one because it's super hyped. And so I'm also going to just tell you guys the book club picks for January, February, March for Swim Sisters as well. So the January we're reading The Love Hypothesis, in February we're reading Flock by Stewart, and then in March we are reading the Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle. These were all voted on by our members on our Instagram, Twitter, and Discord. So if you want to vote in the next quarter, make sure to follow us on one of those 3 platforms. I also really want to do a reading vlog for this because it's really hyped. I feel like it would do really well. So with that, I am going to read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So then that way I can just do like a little reading vlog where I read like hype TikTok romances, because these have both been really hyped on TikTok. I was going to do a Colleen Hoover reading vlog with It Ends With Us and 2 other books, but I already read the 2 other books and I flopped on just updating the vlog, so I decided I would try and do this vlog instead. I literally don't know anything about It Ends With Us. I think it might have to do with domestic abuse. That's all that I know, but
hopefully it shatters my heart because I'm waiting for a good cry.
How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah.
All speaking of Swim Sisters, I have to finish The Highwayman by Karin Byrne. Today I'm filming this is the 2nd, and our live show for this is on the 3rd, and I just started it, so I have like 24 hours to finish this. So I am also going to be finishing this month. I'm going to talk about the rest of my books first and then talk about my winterween TBR, but there's obviously timestamps, so if you just want to skip to that, you can do that. But I just have some couple other random books that I want to read for one reason or another. So the first one is Jade's City by Fonda. I don't think that this video is going to be posted before this one, but it should be up soon, and that is 22 books to read in 2022, and this is one of the books on that list. And I've been really in a fantasy mood. I'll probably do a reading vlog for this too. I'm gonna make it be like reading my first adult fantasy when I've read like one or two, but those were both like 2020. It's been over a year since I've read adult fantasy, so I'm going to make that vlog. And this is technically, I think, new adult, but on Goodreads it says adult, but I know it's new adult, so it's just really going to be for the clickbait. But hopefully I like this. I'm really excited because I know it has to do with mafia families, and there's like Jade, which is really valuable because it gives some people powers, but not everybody can use the powers. But I'm really excited for this because everybody loves it, so hopefully I'll love it too. And I have the audiobook for this. I've had it for a really long time, so hopefully I can actually get through it. Another book that I'm trying to check off that list is There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I really want to read this book bad. I've been really wanting to read it, but I didn't want to read it right at the end of the year because I knew that it was probably going to be a favorite, even though I did have favorites at the end of the year anyways. This has been recommended to me over and over and over again, so I put it on that list. But also, I'm doing 12 books to read in 12 months recommended by 12 friends over on my Instagram. I've seen it going around, so I made a template and everything, and I'm doing it. And I talk about that in my 22 books to read in 2022 video, but this one is also on that list, so we're checking off things. I have a lot more books that I actually want to read this month, like books coming in from my library, books that I've checked out from my library, some series I want to finish, but I'm just going to keep those in my head, so like I don't feel too much pressure to read them, just there'll be hopefuls in my head to read them. But the last book that I'm going to mention is White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. I don't think I'm going to like this book, but it is the last Tiffany D. Jackson I have to read, and I want to do a guide to Tiffany D. Jackson. I would read the rest of her backlist in 2021, so I just want to get to this one, read it. I don't think I'm going to like it because it's a haunted house book. I haven't heard great things about it. I heard there's like a weed plot line that's like kind of annoying. You know, there's a lot of people who have read this that support weed. I support
marijuana use.
But like apparently it's like just like really annoying, like every single page she talks about it and like trying to get it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I just want to complete Tiffany D. Jackson's work. Now for my winterween TBR, I have 3 books on that TBR, and the first one I'm gonna talk about is actually the last challenge, and that is to read a book that gives you thrills and chills, and for that I'm gonna do The Good Daughter by Karin Slaughter. I decided this year that I want my second book to be a Karin Slaughter because last year I read Pretty Girls as my second book of the year, and it was my favorite book of the year. So I'm gonna read this one second after I finish The Highwayman, and especially because the readathon starts tomorrow and I need to have that book finished tomorrow. It just lines up perfectly. So this is the one I'm going to read for that. I know this is more of like a legal thriller, and it still has sister relationships like Pretty Girls. I don't think I'm gonna like it as much as Pretty Girls, but I think I'm still gonna love it because it's Karin Slaughter. So this next book is gonna count for 2 prompts, and that is to read a book at night or in the dark, and then also to read a novella. And for that I'm going to read Gone to See the Riverman. This was not originally on my TBR for this month, but it is a part of my 12 books to read in 12 months by 12 friends. Marcy from Marcy Reads recommended this to me, and I didn't actually know that it was this short until I watched someone's TBR and they had it in it, and it's only like 5 hours and it is a novella. It's less than 200 pages, so since I don't own it physically, I will probably get the ebook or the audiobook, so I could definitely read it at night or in the dark. I literally have no idea what this is about, but Marcy loves it and I trust Marcy, so I think I'm gonna love it too. So the last book on my TBR that counts for the read a book with a winter setting and read a book with snow on the cover is not actually a thriller or spooky book, because most of the thrillers or horrors that I have that are like snowy or in the winter I've already read, and I don't want to just read a book that's not on my TBR that I'm not that interested in just for the sake of the readathon. The only one that I know of that maybe I'd be interested in is Stolen Tongues, but I still don't know yet, so I'm just gonna go with Buried Town by Frederick Bachman because I also have this checked out from my library, so it just lines up perfectly. And you can see they're playing hockey on this little lake, and there's snow on the houses and stuff, and this takes place in Canada in the winter, so it's definitely a winter setting. And it's about like a community where this boy rapes this girl, and then it has like the town divided or something like that, and it is very heartbreaking. And Frederick Bachman apparently just writes like really heart-wrenching stuff, so I'm lucky excited for it, and I think it's gonna be fun. This has been a 5-star prediction for me since fall of 2020, so finally, hopefully I can get to it. So those are the books on my TBR for this month. Let me know if you read any of these or if you plan to read any of these. I am really excited for most of them. Some of them not as much, but I am still excited regardless. Again, hopefully I can read a lot this month. I'm itching for like a solid 15-16 books, you know, that's what I'm trying to aim for, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. But that's all that I have for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye everybody.
Pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby